We have two dockets today. We have our motion to revoke probation docket, and we have an announcement docket. The first case that we have is off the announcement docket. We have two cases, cause numbers 23 CCCR 2242 and cause number 23 CCCR 2266. Both cases are style of state of Texas versus Michaela Leanne Jackson. Ms. Jackson, would you please come forward? Okay. Ms. Jackson, your full name is Michaela Leanne Jackson?
Yes, sir.
How you doing, Ms. Jackson?
Fine.
That's good, Ms. Jackson. You are represented in your case by your attorney John Macy, who is appearing via Zoom. Mr. Macy, how are you doing?
I'm fine, Your Honor. Thanks for asking.
Okay. And the state is represented by Ms. Haley Simmons. Ms. Simmons, how are you doing?
I'm good, Judge. How are you?
Okay. And Mr. Macy, what is your announcement?
Your Honor, I'm sorry. Your Honor, these cases were reset because I didn't have some videos, which I now have. However, what I don't have is an offer on these cases, and I haven't had an opportunity to, number one, convey an offer to Ms. Jackson, and I also haven't had an opportunity to review the videos with her either. And I apologize for not being there this morning, but I have 16 clients on the docket in Hardin County this morning, and that docket's fixing to start here in about 20 30 minutes, something like that. Anyway, so I'd ask the court for a reset to give me an opportunity, number one, to get an offer on the cases and to discuss everything with Ms. Jackson.
Okay, so you need enough time to get the discovery.
I have the discovery, I just don't have the offer.
Okay. What about the video? You said something about a video?
Yeah. I have all the videos as far as I can tell.
Okay.
So
you need an offer. You need an offer from the state.
I do. I need offer on the state, and then I need obviously set up a time when I can get with Ms. Jackson, go over everything with her, including the videos I didn't have last time.
Okay. Give us a reset date. Okay, Mr. Macy, these cases will be reset until September 11th, 2024, to give you an opportunity to get an offer from the state and have a conference with your client. Ms. Jackson, you'll get your reset here in court. Once you get your reset, you'll be free to go and you have a blessed day.
Thank you.
Okay. And Mr. Macy, your resets will be sent to you.
Thank you, Your
I
Honor.
think these are the only two cases that you have.
Yes.
Okay, you're free to go and you have a blessed day.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. Yeah, Mr. Haney. I'm doing fine. My state. Just Okay, Alvin Donnell Scott. I don't think he's here yet.
No, he's not going to, I don't think. Yeah, he's a out of state truck driver. And I said, like 2 months to this, I gave notice. I gave him notice again on Sunday. And I think I never got a response. So I was just asked the court just go ahead and send it back down to the original court.
You say send it back down. I think you may have to do a writ of procedendo, huh? In order for it to go down. I don't think that's not the court's, the court doesn't do that. I think that's
Yeah.
a motion that's filed by the defense.
So do that.
Okay, but right now you're gonna have a bond forfeiture
Okay,
by him, by virtue of him not being here.
sure. Right.
Okay,
Will the court allow me to follow?
I mean, you can file your motion. Yeah, I mean, this is not gonna stop you from filing your motion.
Okay.
Okay, okay, this is cause number 24 CCCR 0090, case of style of state of Texas versus Alvin Donnell Scott. Alvin Donnell Scott was scheduled to be in court this morning at 9 a.m. At or about 9 a.m., the court's bailiff called the name of Alvin Scott at the courthouse door. Alvin Scott did not answer. Alvin Scott has not appeared in court since the court's been in session. The time now is 9:29 a.m. on today's date of September 24th, 2024. Ms. Bailiff, would you please call the name of Alvin Scott at the courthouse door?
Alvin Scott. Alvin Scott. North Montana.
Okay, Alvin Scott's name was just called at the courthouse door. Alvin Scott did not answer. A reasonable time has passed to give Mr. Scott an opportunity to appear in court. He has not appeared in court. State, do you have a motion?
State moves bond forfeiture.
That motion will be granted. Alvin Scott bond will be forfeited and warrant shall be issued for his arrest. And cause number 24 CCCR 0090. And Mr. Henning, you're excused and you have a blessed day.
Great, thank you.
You're welcome. All right, nice seeing you. You typing up one of them. Who is it on? Okay. Okay. Get a close, okay. Next case is off the motion report, motion to revoke probation docket, and the case is cause number M328914. Case of style of state of Texas versus Elizabeth Ray Hunter Clippard. Ms. Mosby. I'm gonna need a clipboard with the judge's explanation and the all the paperwork. Okay, this is cause number M328914, case of style of state of Texas versus Elizabeth Ray Hunter Clippard. Ms. Hunter Clippard, is that your full name?
Yes, sir.
How are you doing?
I'm all right. How are you?
I'm doing fine, thanks for asking. Okay, Ms. Hunter Clippard. Let's see. Your case is on our motion to revoke probation docket. Waiting for the motion to revoke probation to pull up on the computers. Okay. Okay, Miss Hunter Clifford, I have before me a motion to revoke probation. Now, is this your first time here on the motion to revoke probation? Okay. Now, in this motion to revoke probation that was filed by the Jefferson County District Attorney's Office, let me see. It alleges that okay. Now, it alleges that you, Elizabeth Ray Hunter Clifford, was tried on January 19 of 2024 for the offense of theft. And you were found guilty and assessed punishment for a term of 90 days confinement in the Jefferson County Jail. And you was given a fine of $1,117. Okay, and this confinement was probated for a period of 1 year. So that simply means that you was placed on probation for 1 year. In this motion, there are 7 allegations. Allegation number 1 alleges that you, Elizabeth Ray Hunter Clifford, failed to avoid persons and places of disreputable, harmful character, and specifically avoid association with a person previously convicted of a crime or presence at any location where a criminal act is being committed as ordered by the court, by admitting to the use of illegal drugs and being around people of disreputable character in violation of condition 3 of your probation order. And then the second one, it has allegation 1 again, that it states that you, Elizabeth Ray Hunter Clifford, failed to successfully complete a substance abuse evaluation as ordered by Ellis County Probation Department in violation of condition 11 of your probation officer. And condition number 3 alleges that you, Elizabeth Ray Hunter Clifford, failed to abstain from the use or possession of any drugs except those taken or possessed under doctor's orders as ordered by the court on or about 11th day of March 2024 and the 22nd day of April 2024 that you, Elizabeth Ray Hunter Clifford, provided a urine sample for a scientific analysis that showed the presence of metabolic byproducts of amphetamines, methamphetamines in violation of condition 14 of your probation order. Condition number 4 alleges that you, Elizabeth Ray Hunter Clifford, failed to never become intoxicated or be under the influence of any intoxicating substance on or about March 11th and 13th, 2024, April 22nd, 2024, in Jefferson County, Texas, the said Elizabeth Ray Hunter Clifford did become intoxicated and under the influence of an intoxicating substance in violation of condition 15 of your probation order. And allegation number 5 alleges that you, Elizabeth Ray Hunter Clifford, failed to perform the community service hours required as ordered by the court in violation of condition 17 of your probation order. Condition number 6, or allegation number 6, alleges that you, Elizabeth Ray Hunter Clifford, has failed to attend the theft prevention classes as ordered by the court in violation of condition A of your probation order. And finally, allegation number 7 alleges that you, Elizabeth Ray Hunter Clifford, failed to report to Jefferson County Probation Office by web or mail. Hold on a minute. Now, Mr. Lawrence, you're talking to if you need to talk to your client, you can go on the outside. And Mr. Boudreaux, if you need to talk to Mr. Rojas, y'all could go in the back in the conference room. Okay, the court is in session. Okay, now, again, allegation number 7 alleges that You, Elizabeth Ray Hunter Clifford, failed to report to the Jefferson County Probation Office by web or mail as ordered by the court the months of February 2024 as directed in violation of special amendment dated January 30th, 2024 of the defendant's or of your probation order. Now, if the court find that any one of these 7 allegations is true, your probation can be revoked. And if your probation is revoked, you could be sentenced to up to 90 days in the Jefferson County Jail. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Now, as a defendant in a criminal case, you have rights. You have that clipboard. She's gonna hand you a clipboard before you. I'm gonna go over your right. You have a right to have an attorney. That first document is titled Judge's Explanation of Rights to Defendants Without an Attorney. Do you see that title?
Yes, sir.
And it states as follows. As a defendant in a criminal case, you have 3 options. That's regarding your right to have an attorney. Number 1, you may hire an attorney. Do you understand that option? Number 2, you may request that an attorney be appointed to represent you. Do you understand that option?
Yes, sir.
And number 3, you may represent yourself. Now, if you want an attorney to represent you and you can afford to hire an attorney, your case will be reset, means that you'll be given another court date to give you time to hire an attorney. If you want an attorney to represent you and you do not have enough money to hire an attorney, you would have to first fill out a financial questionnaire. Now, the financial questionnaire is a document on that clipboard that is titled Jefferson County Affidavit of Indigence. You would have to fill out the first page and half of the second page of that document. And then I'll fill out the second half of the second page and then the third page. Now, if you do not want an attorney to represent you and you would like to represent yourself, you have to first fill out a waiver of counsel. Now, the waiver of counsel is a document on that clipboard that is titled Waiver of Counsel for Purposes of Entering a Guilty Plea or Proceeding to Trial. You would have to read and sign that document. Now, if you waive your right to an attorney, you will have an opportunity to talk to the prosecutor yourself, because at that point you're representing yourself. In essence, you're acting as your own lawyer. Now, you should be mindful that there are dangers and disadvantages of self-representation. Waiving your right to an attorney and representing yourself may result in a worse outcome for you and your case, including the loss of significant rights and opportunities relating to military service, possession of a firearm, housing and public benefits, child custodies, immigration status for non-citizens, and employment. Now, if you choose to represent yourself, you can change your mind at any time and request that an attorney be appointed to represent you. Now, at the bottom of that document, that's titled Judge's Explanation of Rights to Defendants Without an Attorney, there are 5 lines to the left. If you would like to hire your own attorney and have your case reset, then you will put your initials on the first line to the left. There's that judge's explanation?
Yes.
Okay. If you've already hired an attorney, you would place your initials on the second line to the left and the name of the attorney on the line to the right. If you would like to apply for a court-appointed attorney, then you will place your initials on the third line to the left. If you've already been appointed a court-appointed attorney, then you will place your initials on the fourth line to the left and the name of the attorney on the line to the right. If your choice is to represent yourself, that is, waive your right to an attorney and represent yourself, then you will place your initials on the fifth line to the left. Now, once you have finished initialing one of the 5 lines, then you will sign your name at the bottom of that document, on the line that is titled defendant, and you will date it today's date, July 24th, 2024. Okay, Miss Elizabeth Ray Hunter Clifford, I have before me a document that you just signed. Now, Miss Elizabeth Ray Hunter Clifford, would you please raise your right hand? Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you may put your hand down. Miss Hunter Clifford, I have before me a document that is titled Judge's Explanation of Rights for Defendants Without Attorney. Do you recognize this document?
Yes,
Is this your signature on the line that's titled defendant?
yes, sir.
And are these your initials on the line that state you'd like to have your case reset to hire your own attorney?
Yes, sir.
Now, before you sign and initial this document, did you read the document?
Yes, sir.
Did you understand what you read? And is everything in this document true and correct to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Ms. Hunter Clifford, your case is going to be reset by our court coordinator. Once your case is reset, you can get your reset, you'll be free to go, and you have a blessed day.
Thank you, you too.
All right, please stand over here in front of the, you, yeah, you can get it. Constant forms. Yeah, reset at 30. Okay. Ms. Hunter Clifford, you're still on probation, so you still have to abide by all the conditions of probation. Okay. Jefferson County Court Law number 2 is back in session. The court is in session at cause number M333946. Case is style of State of Texas versus Jose Torres Rivera. Mr. Torres Rivera, is that your full name?
Yes.
Mr. Torres Rivera, would you please raise your right hand? Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you God?
Yes.
You may put your hand down. Mr. Torres Rivera, how are you doing?
Fine.
You're doing fine, that's good. Mr. Torres Rivera, you represented in your case by your attorney, Attorney Charles Rojas. Attorney Rojas, how are you doing?
Doing well, Judge, thank you.
Attorney Rojas, do you waive a record in Mr. Torres Rivera's case?
We do.
Mr. Torres Rivera, I have before me on my computer a document that is titled Information. This information was filed by the Jefferson County District Attorney's Office. In this information, it alleges that you, Jose Torres Rivera, on or about November 8th of 2022, while you were in Jefferson County, Texas, that you committed the Class A misdemeanor offense of theft. Mr. Torres Rivera, do you understand what you've been charged with?
Yeah.
And to this charge, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, and no contest?
Guilty.
Mr. Ross. And are you, it's an A. And are you pleading guilty freely and voluntarily?
Yeah.
And are you pleading guilty because you are guilty?
Yeah.
Okay. Mr. Torres Rivera, I also have before me a document that is titled Misdemeanor Plea Admonishment. This document is on my tablet, and it is also labeled as State's Exhibit Number 1. Do you recognize this document?
Yeah.
On page 2 of this same document, there are a set of initials on a line next to a box that says check guilty. Did you place your initials on this document?
Yeah.
On page 3 of this same document, there is a signature above the line that is titled Defendant. Is this your signature?
Yeah.
And on the next document, that's titled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Right of Appeal, do you recognize this document?
Yeah.
And is this your signature on the line that's titled Defendant?
Yeah.
At the top of this document, there are 2 boxes checked. The first box that's checked states that this is a plea bargaining case and you have no right of appeal. Do you understand that statement?
Yeah.
The second box that's checked states that you're waiving your right to an appeal, which means you're giving up your right to an appeal. Do you understand that statement?
Yeah.
I also have before me a document on paper that is titled Discovery Certification. Do you recognize this document?
Yeah.
And is this your signature on the line that's titled Defendant?
Yeah.
Now, Mr. Torres Rivera, before you signed and initialed these documents, did your attorney go over these documents with you?
Yeah.
And did you understand everything that your attorney went over?
Yes.
And is everything in these documents true and correct
Yes.
to the best of your knowledge?
Yes.
Mr. Torres Rivera, are you a citizen of the United States?
Yes.
Stay up or stay close.
No objection.
No objection. State's Exhibit Number 1 will be admitted. And Ms. Rojas, you've advised and counseled Mr. Torres Rivera. Is there any evidence that he is currently mentally incompetent to stand trial?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Torres Rivera, your attorney, Mr. Rojas, has advised and counseled you. Are you satisfied with his representation?
Yeah.
Has he provided full, effective, and competent legal representation?
Yeah.
Mr. Torres Rivera, I will accept your plea of guilty. I will find that you are mentally competent to stand trial. I will also find that your plea and waivers were freely and voluntarily given. And I will also find that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. State, do we have a plea bargaining agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
And what is the agreement?
In exchange for defendant's plea, the state's offering 19 days in the Jefferson County Jail, credit for 19 days, and 2 tax and retired court costs.
Okay, Mr. Torres Rivera, the state is offering that you serve 19 days in the Jefferson County Jail. However, you will not have to serve any more time in the Jefferson County Jail because you've already served 19 days in the Jefferson County Jail. Therefore, you'll be given a credit for the time that you have already served. The court costs in this case will be taxed and retired. What that means is you will not be required to pay the court costs in this case because the time that you have spent in jail has already paid off the court costs. Therefore, the court costs will be taxed and retired. Mr. Rivera, do you understand the state's offer?
Yes,
Do you think the state's offer in your case is fair and just?
yes,
And do you accept the state's offer?
yes.
Okay, Mr. Torres Rivera, I'll follow the plea bargaining agreement that you have entered into with the state. Now, Mr. Torres Rivera, this will conclude your case. You're gonna stand in front of the court coordinator, follow the directions of the bailiff. Once you're finished following the directions of the bailiff, you'll be free to go and you have a blessed day.
Thank you.
Okay, and
I've got one more.
yeah, you have another.
Working on it.
Okay.
Already said that over before. I'll show you again. No, I signed it, so that over.
You're on page 4 of the announcement. Which one you working on?
Probably Garcia. He has 3 cases. I think. Yes, it's 3 and 4.
Which ones they're pleading to?
2263.
You said you don't had a class on it. What is he charged with? I mean, that's a class B misdemeanor. Wow. Now the range of punishment differs on a reckless driving. They only could get up to 30 days. And the fine is only up to $200. You're reckless driving?
That's what it means.
They got the right fine range?
Yeah, wrong.
The next one.
Yeah, that's out of the. Ah. Yeah, reckless driving, max fine is 200.
Yeah.
And the minimum max days is 30. Oh, oh. Which one? Garcia?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Mhm. Next case is cause numbers M31744, excuse me, cause number M317554. Case is style of state of Texas versus Edward William Wallace. Ms. Mosby, we need another clipboard with that information on it. Mr. Wallace, your full name is Edward William Wallace, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
How are you doing, Mr. Wallace? Oh, fine, thanks for asking. Okay, Mr. Edward William Wallace. I have a document before me that is titled Motion to Revoke Unadjudicated Probation. And this motion was filed on March 18, 2024 by the Jefferson County District Attorney's Office. In this motion, it alleges that you, Edward Wallace, in cause number M317554, County Court Law number 2, Jefferson County, Texas, on November 29th of 2021, that the court found that the evidence was sufficient beyond a reasonable doubt to support a finding of guilt for the offense of assault, bodily injury. The court placed you on unadjudicated probation for a period of 1 year. In this motion, there are 5 allegations. The first allegation alleges that you, Edward Wallace, committed the offense of terrorist threat on or about 25th day of February 2024 in Harris County, Texas, against the peace and dignity of the state in violation of condition 1 of your probation order. And allegation number 2 alleges that you, Edward Wallace, committed the offense of failure to identify a fugitive on or about the 25th day of February 2024 in the county of Harris, state of Texas, against the peace and dignity of the state in violation of condition 1 of your probation order. Allegation number 3 alleges that you failed to avoid injurious or vicious habits as ordered by the court on or about the 25th day of February 2024 in violation of condition 2 of your probation order. Allegation number 4 alleges that you, Edward Wallace, failed to pay court assessed fees as ordered by the court. And as of March 8, 2024, you were $1,019 in arrears in violation of condition 8 of your probation order. Something's funny?
That's not true.
Okay, well, it's don't laugh at it. I mean, I'm just reading your allegations. You'll have your opportunity to defend yourself against these allegations, okay? And allegation number 5 alleges that you, Edward Wallace, failed to immediately report to the probation officer your new arrest as ordered by the court in violation of condition 11 of your probation order. Now, if the court finds any one of these allegations to be true, you could be assessed up to 365 days, which is 1 year in the county jail. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Now, as a defendant in a criminal case, you have a right to have an attorney. You should have a document before you that is titled Judge's Explanation of Rights to Defendants Without Attorney. In that document, it states that as a defendant, you have 3 options. Number 1, you may hire an attorney. Do you understand that option?
Yes, sir.
Number two, if you, want an attorney, you can't afford an attorney, you can request a court-appointed attorney. Do you understand that option?
Yes.
And number three, you may represent yourself. Do you understand that option?
Yes, sir.
Now, if you want to have an attorney to represent you and you have enough money to hire an attorney, your case will be reset. Reset means you'll be given another court date to hire your own attorney. Now, if you want an attorney, but you do not have enough money to hire an attorney, you may request that an attorney be appointed to represent you. You would have to fill out a financial questionnaire so that the proper person can determine whether or not you qualify for a court-appointed attorney. You may represent yourself if, one, you waive your right to an attorney. Now, there's a document on that form on the clipboard that is titled waiver of counsel for purposes of entering a guilty plea or proceeding to trial. You'd have to read and fill out that document, and then you'll be able to represent yourself. Now, you should be mindful that there are dangers and disadvantages of self-representation. Representing yourself may result in a worse outcome for you and your case, including the loss of significant rights and opportunities relating to military service, housing and public benefits, child custody, immigration status for non-citizens, and employment. Now, if you choose to represent yourself, you may change your mind at any time and request that an attorney be appointed to represent you. At the bottom of that document, in bold letters, it states defendant's choice. Mark your initials next to one choice. If your choice is to hire your own attorney, then you'll place your initials on the first line to the left. If you have already hired an attorney to represent you in your case, then you will place your initials on the second line to the left and the name of the attorney on the line to the right. If your choice is to apply for a court-appointed attorney, then you will place your initials on the third line to the left. If you have already been appointed a court-appointed attorney to represent you in your case, then you will place your initials on the fourth line to the left and the name of the attorney on the line to the right. If your choice is to waive your right to have an attorney, that means give up your right to have an attorney and represent yourself, then you will place your initials on the fifth line to the left. Now, once you have finished initialing one of the 5 lines, then you will sign your name at the bottom of that document on the line that is titled defendant, and you will date it today's date, July 24th, 2024. And once you finish signing and initialing that document, you can get that document to Mr. Gilliam, who will hand it to me. Okay. Okay. Now, you want to apply for a court-appointed attorney? There's a document on the clipboard that is titled Jefferson County Affidavit of Indigence. Is there a pen on? No, he's gonna take a seat with the clipboard, and if you have a pen, you're gonna fill out the first page and half of the second page, okay? If you need any help with that, we'll be happy to help you to fill it out. Okay, you can just have a seat. You have anybody? Is there anybody else who has some paperwork? I'm saying,
I'm doing it, it messed up the financials, so they gotta delete everything off for me to start over. So I'm just going to your other case. And we can start on that. Once I assess the fine, can't do nothing else. They have to be the action.
Let's see.
I'm doing his other.
I mean, is Mr. Boudreaux case a plea or not?
Probably.
It is, Your Honor. I have a
It is?
Boudreaux.
Okay, and I think all the lawyers' cases are plea. Mr. Paget, your case is plea as
I
well?
have two that aren't, Your Honor, but at the court's pleasure. I mean, one of them I'm trying to. I can approach on the others at the court's pleasure.
Okay, which ones are they? Is it Ariaga,
I have-
Ariaga,
That's one, and then the other one is Bernal Forbes. So that's.
Forbes? Okay,
That's one too, but it's at the court's pleasure.
okay, no, we could
Yes, sir.
take
I
everything
mean,
right
you
now.
wanna knock it out, we can.
First, the next case is cause number 24 CCCR 0720. Case is style of state of Texas versus Bornell, Aubrey Forbes.
He's outside of the.
Okay.
Yeah, no big deal. I'll get some steps in.
Thank you. I just work on it.
Yeah, this is cause number 24 CCCR 0720. Case is style of state of Texas versus Burnell Aubrey Forbes.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Forbes, is that your full name?
Yes, sir.
How are you doing, Mr. Forbes?
I'm doing good. How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing fine, thanks for asking. Now, Mr. Forbes, you're represented in your case by your attorney, Attorney James Paget. Attorney Paget, how are you doing?
Doing well. Good morning, Your Honor.
Now, Mr. Paget, what is your announcement in Mr. Forbes' case?
Your Honor, we have received all discovery. I've now received an offer from Mr. Ubel. What I need would be 30 days to review that with my client and relay the offer to him.
Okay,
I'm certain we can work it out. I have not, I've reviewed the discovery, but I would like to review it with my client.
okay. Now, okay, so Mr. Forbes, your case is gonna be reset 30 days. And your attorney is gonna be given notice of your reset. And your attorney, your bonds will stay in contact with your attorney, your bonds will be free to go. And you have a blessed day.
Thank you. Your Honor.
Okay. Next case is cause number M330642. Case is style of state of Texas versus Sergio Javier Arriaga.
I'm going to explain to the judge. After.
Okay. Okay, Mr. Paget,
Yes, Your Honor.
this is Mr. Arriaga. I see here on the docket. It states that Mr. Arriaga he's deaf?
He is deaf and he speaks
And he
Spanish,
speaks
Your Honor.
Spanish.
So I was going to let you know what's going on. So we reset the case last time. We were going to file a motion for a translator.
Right,
In the meantime, I was he and I text, and we communicate pretty well that way. He relayed to me that he was the finances had finally come through for hearing aids. So actually, unfortunately, today, he contacted me yesterday evening and said his hearing aid appointment was today. So, once we get the hearing aids, the only thing we're going to need is,
Well, Spanish.
Spanish.
That's not a problem.
so, unfortunately, I probably would have requested the reset because I think his appointment is this morning. However, he just notified me yesterday afternoon that he was going to be getting the hearing aids.
Okay,
And he and I have been texting this. I have to text him right now, anything that you say.
okay.
And then I have a translator, but last time you and I spoke and the translator's not going to be able to, translate.
Okay, well, we have
officially
translators
here in
here.
court.
Yeah,
Yes, I understand. That's what we had discussed last
yeah,
time.
okay.
And that's why we don't have the motion filed because he.
Okay, so he's gonna get hearing aids. Okay,
And here's the situation with that, Your Honor.
You can put it on the mic while Judge is talking and it'll go.
Oh, okay, yeah, we may not need to do that. I was gonna, so, he communicates really, really closely with me. We have an offer that he's already accepted. So, I don't think we're gonna have any trouble with this, but
so let me ask you this here. When is he gonna get his hearing aid?
when are you going to get your hearing aids? Next
Next
week?
week?
Because his appointment was actually this morning.
Right.
So he
Okay.
had to reset it until next week.
Okay, so just give him a standard reset.
Because I could not contact the court. It was too late for me to contact the court and request a reset because the docket had already been.
No, you could have contacted him yesterday,
It was
anytime
yesterday
before.
it was yesterday close to evening.
Oh, you just want before docket start, you give resets all the way up until docket.
I didn't know that. I probably
Yeah.
would have saved him the time. So just
Yeah.
out of an abundance of caution, we both appeared.
Okay. Just give us a 30-day reset. It'll be, she'll give you a reset and you can tell him stay in contact with you in his time.
So what you can do is you sit down, I'm gonna text you. I want to make sure we're on the same page. Okay, 1 second, just sit, okay. This should solve the problem. He feels
Okay.
more comfortable with the hearing aids.
Okay, that's fine.
Because the problem is, he doesn't speak official sign language. So if we were
It's back in session. The court is in session and calls numbers 23 CC Ciara 2208. Calls number 23 CC Ciara 2263. And calls number 24 CC Ciara 0588. All three cases are style of state of Texas versus Geraldo Rocha Garcia. And Mr. Rocha Garcia, speaks Spanish. His attorney, Attorney Charles Rojas, also speaks Spanish and English. Mr. Rojas, would you please raise your right hand? Mr. Rojas, do you swear to interpret Spanish to English and English to Spanish? So help you God?
I do.
You may put your hand down. Mr. Rojas, ask Mr. Rocha Garcia if his full name is Geraldo Rocha Garcia.
Yes.
Okay. Ask him how he's doing.
Good.
Okay. Okay. Mr. Rocha Garcia is represented by Attorney Rojas. Attorney Rojas, do you waive a record in Mr. Rocha Garcia's cases?
We do, Your Honor.
Okay. Mr. Rocha Garcia, I have before me a document that is titled Information Sheet. This information sheet was filed by the Jefferson County District Attorney's Office. In this information sheet, it alleges that you, Geraldo Rocha Garcia, on or about September 18th of 2023, that you committed the Class B misdemeanor offense of reckless driving while you were in Jefferson County, Texas. Mr. Rocha Garcia, do you understand what you have been charged with?
Yes.
And to this charge, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
Guilty.
Are you pleading guilty freely and voluntarily?
Voluntarily, yes.
And are you pleading guilty because you are guilty?
Yes.
Mr. Rocha Garcia, I have before me a document that is titled Misdemeanor Plea Admonishment. It is also labeled as State's Exhibit Number 1. Do you recognize this document?
Yes.
On this document, there's one box that's checked. Box that's checked states that this is a Class B misdemeanor, and the range of punishment is confinement in the Jefferson County Jail up to 30 days, or a fine that does not exceed $200, or you could be given both such fine and confinement. Do you understand the range of punishment?
Yes.
At the bottom of this document, there's also a paragraph that is titled Citizenship.
We forgot to initial that, Judge.
Okay, I'll get him to do that. And this paragraph states, if you are not a U.S. citizen, a plea of guilty or nolo contendere may result in your deportation, exclusion from admission to the country, or denial of naturalization under federal law. Do you understand that statement?
Yes.
And are you a citizen of the United States?
No.
No.
What country are you from?
Mexico.
Mexico, okay. Thank you. And on page 2 of the same document, there are a set of initials, GRG, on a line next to a box that's checked guilty. Did you place your initials on this document?
Yes.
On page 3 of this document, there is a signature above the line that is titled Defendant. Is this your signature?
Yes.
On the next document, that's titled Trial Court's Certification of Defendant's Right of Appeal, Do you recognize this document?
Yes.
Is this your signature on the line that's titled defendant?
Yes.
At the top of this document, there are two boxes checked. The first box that's checked states that this is a plea bargain case and you have no right of appeal. Do you understand that statement?
Yes.
The next box that's checked states that you are waiving your right to an appeal, which means you're giving up your right to an appeal. Do you understand that statement?
Yes.
I also have before me a document that's titled Discovery Certification. Do you recognize this document?
Yes.
And is this your signature on the line that's titled Defendant?
Yes.
I also have another document that is titled English Statement 1 for all foreign nationals except those from mandatory notification countries. And the last sentence states as follows. Do you want us to notify your consular officers at this time? And you circled no, is that correct?
Yes.
And is this your signature on this document?
Yes.
Mr. Rocha Garcia, before you sign and initial all of these documents that I just showed you, did your attorney, Mr. Rojas, go over all of these documents with you in Spanish?
Yes.
And did you understand everything that Mr. Rojas went over?
Yes.
And is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge?
Yes.
Stafford states one.
No objection.
No objection, states exhibit number 1 will be admitted. Now, Mr. Rojas, pursuant to the case of Padilla versus Kentucky, did you advise your client as to the consequences of pleading guilty to this case by him not being a U.S. citizen?
I did, Your Honor.
And is there any evidence that your client is currently mentally incompetent to stand trial?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Rocha Garcia, your attorney, Mr. Rojas, has advised and counseled you. Are you satisfied with his representation?
Yes.
Has he provided full, effective, and competent legal representation?
Yes.
Okay. Mr. Rocha Garcia, I will accept your plea of guilty. I will find that you are mentally competent to stand trial. I will also find that your plea and waivers were freely and voluntarily given. And I will also find that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. State, do we have a plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
And what is the agreement?
The agreement is to 6 months deferred probation with a $200 fine and 30 hours community service. This is to run concurrent with his other reckless case. And we stated dismissing the UCW case. If we're sure.
Six months deferred. Let's see. Say 30 hours community service. Mr. Ross, were you appointed in this case?
No, Your Honor.
You weren't. Do you know, what's its court called? Rocha Garcia. 6'3" is the last 2 numbers.
263.
Yes.
30.
3:30?
Yes.
Mr. Rocha Garcia, the state is offering that you serve 6 months deferred adjudicated probation. During the 6 months probationary period, you'll be required to pay a fine of $200 plus court costs of $330. You'll also be required to pay a probation fee of $60 a month, your analysis fee, $15 a month, and reimbursement fee of $15. Your total monthly installments, that is the total amount that you will be required to pay each month, is $253 a month. Will you be able to pay the $253 a month?
Yes.
You will also be required to perform 30 hours of community service. This case will run concurrent with the companion case clause numbers 24 CCCR 0588. And the state will be dismissing clause number 23 CCCR 2208 for forfeiture of the weapon in that case. Mr. Rocha Garcia, do you understand the state's offer?
Yes.
Do you think that the state's offer in your case is fair and just?
Yes.
And do you accept the state's offer?
Yes.
Mr. Rocha Garcia, I'll follow the plea bargaining agreement that you have entered into with the state. Mr. Rocha Garcia, we will move on to your next case. Well, I was on to this one. Your next case is clause number 23 CCCR 2208. And I have before me in that case, a motion to forfeit the weapons. Mr. Rocha Garcia, do you recognize this document?
Yes.
And is this your signature on the line that's titled defendant?
Yes.
Mr. Rocha Garcia, before you signed this document, did your attorney go over this document with you?
Yes.
And did you read and understand everything? Well, did you understand everything that your attorney went over with you in this document in Spanish?
Yes.
Okay. And Mr. Rocha Garcia, are you requesting that the court grant this motion to forfeit the weapon to the Beaumont Police Department?
Yes.
Okay, it will be granted. Okay, Mr. Rocha Garcia, the court has just signed the motion to forfeit the weapon to the Beaumont Police Department. In clause number 23 CC Ciara 2208. And state, you'll be
We'll submitting it.
submitting a dismissal in that case,
Yes, Your Honor.
okay? You're gonna have to, she's still working on the next one.
I have the X-ray.
Yeah, I know.
Coming here from-
We'll call you back up.
But Jack.
I know. Yanela Castro.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning, Mr. Lawrence. This is cause number 24 CC Ciara 0278.
Yes.
And your name is Yanela Castro? Ms. Castro, would you please raise your right hand? Ms. Castro, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Ms. Castro, you may put your hand down. How are you doing, Ms. Castro? You doing okay?
Yes.
That's good. Now, Ms. Castro, you're represented in your case by your attorney, Attorney Jack Lawrence. Attorney Lawrence, how are you doing?
Just fine, Your Honor.
That's good. Mr. Lawrence, do you waive a record in Ms. Castro's case?
Yes, I do, Your Honor.
Ms. Castro, I have before me a document on my computer that is titled Information Sheet. This information sheet was filed by the Jefferson County District Attorney's Office. In this information sheet, it alleges that you, Yanela Castro, on or about December 24th of 2023, while you were in Jefferson County, Texas, that you committed the Class B misdemeanor offense of theft. Ms. Castro, do you understand what you have been charged with? And to discharge Ms. Castro, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest? Are you pleading no contest freely and voluntarily? And are you pleading no contest because you do not wish to fight or contest the charges? Are you pleading no contest because you do not wish to fight or contest the charges? That's what no contest means. Okay, now, Ms. Castro, I also have before me on this tablet a document that is titled Misdemeanor Plea Admonishments. Do you recognize this document? On page 2 of this same document, there are a set of initials YC that are on a line next to a box that says check nola contendere, which means no contest. Did you place your initials on this document? On page 3 of this same document, there's a signature above the line that is titled defendant. Is this your signature? And on the next document that's titled trial court certification of defendant's right of appeal, do you recognize this document? And is this your signature on the line as titled defendant? At the top of this document, there are two boxes checked. The first box that's checked states that this is a plea bargain case and you have no right of appeal. Do you understand that statement? The second box that's checked states that you're waiving your right to an appeal, which means you're giving up your right to an appeal. Do you understand that statement? I also have before me a document that is titled Discovery Certification. Do you recognize this document? And is this your signature on the line that's titled defendant? Ms. Castro, before you signed and initialed these documents, did your attorney, Mr. Lawrence, go over these documents with you? And did you read and understand everything that Mr. Lawrence went over? And is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge? Ms. Castro, are you a citizen of the United States? You are?
Stay out for stage one.
Any objections, Mr. Lawrence, to State's Exhibit number 1?
None, Your Honor.
No objections. State's Exhibit number 1 will be admitted. Mr. Lawrence, you have advised and counseled Ms. Castro. Is there any evidence that she is currently mentally incompetent to stand trial?
No, Your Honor.
And Ms. Castro, your attorney, Mr. Lawrence, has advised and counseled you. Are you satisfied with his representation? Has he provided full, effective, and competent legal representation? Ms. Castro, I will accept your plea of no contest. I will find that you are mentally competent to stand trial. I will also find that your plea and waivers were freely and voluntarily given. And I will also find that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. State, do we have a plea bargain agreement?
We do, Your Honor.
And what is the agreement?
The agreement is to 6 months deferred probation with a $150 fine and 25 hours community service.
Okay. What is the court cost in her case?
277.
Yes, I need to add, Your Honor, she is extremely indigent.
Okay, we hadn't got there yet.
Yes,
Okay. Now, Mr. Lawrence, were you appointed in this case?
yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Okay. 60, 90, 50.
The document saying, the document.
Okay. Let me see. Yep. Okay. Ms. Castro, the state is offering that you serve 6 months deferred adjudicated probation. During the 6-month probationary period, you will be required to pay a fine of $150 plus court costs of $277, plus a probation fee of $25 a month, a urinalysis fee of $15 a month, and a reimbursement fee of $15. You'll also be required to reimburse Jefferson County DWI. You'll be required to reimburse Jefferson County for the court-appointed attorney's fees of $250. Now, the total monthly installments is $228 a month. Ms. Castro, will you be able to pay the $228 a month?
Your Honor.
No, this question is for Ms. Castro. So you're not working, so you're unable to pay it. Okay, so Ms. Castro, what the court is going to do, the court is going to, let me see her affidavit of indigence. Hold on, let me look at it.
Hold on.
I might be able to pull it up from here. Hold on a minute. Here it is. Yeah. I'm gonna print it off. Should be printed off in the field. Here it is. Could you reach me that affidavit of indigence?
It's still printing.
Okay, now, Ms. Castro, I have before me a document that is titled Affidavit of Indigence. I'm gonna hand this document to your attorney, and he's gonna hand this document to you. Ms. Castro, do you recognize that document? On page, flip the first page over, there's a signature at the top left-hand corner. It says defendant's signature. Is that your signature? Now, Ms. Castro, is everything on that document still true and correct? Well, flip over to the first page, I think. The financial information. It is? Okay, now, Ms. Castro, the court is gonna find that you're indigent. Based on the finding of indigency and pursuant to Article 26.05 of the Code of Criminal Procedure, Section G-11, the attorney fees in this case of $250 will be waived. The fine and court costs, take your hand off the bench. The fine of $150 and court costs of $277 which comes to a total of 427 hours, will be converted to 34 hours of community service. And the probation fee will be reduced to the statutory minimum of $25 a month. And you'll be required to pay $15 for a urinalysis fee and a reimbursement fee of $15. Your total monthly installments will be $51 a month. Will you be able to pay the $51 a month? You will? Okay. Now, Ms. Castro, you'll also be required to perform 25 hours of community service. That's in addition to the 34 hours of community service, which comes to a total of 59 hours of community service. Do you understand that? Now, Ms. Castro, you will also be required to adhere to the other standard terms and conditions of your probation. Ms. Castro, do you understand the state's offer and the court's adjustments? And do you think that is fair and just? And do you accept it?
May I add something, Your
Okay, what you like to add?
Honor? Her situation is this: she has 3 children. The oldest is 6 years of age. She's unmarried. She basically, she stays with her mom sometimes, but her mom has a job. She does not have a job. So she's basically there with no job, raising 3 children. It's a curiosity to me that the offense alleged she was taking clothes at Walmart. And guess what? This was 2 days after the birth of her most recent child, Xander. The offense date was 2 days after the birth of her most recent.
Now, what does this has to do with unable to pay the?
She's just
Fact.
very poor. She's
Well,
very poor.
I gather that she's told me what she was unable to do, and she told me what she was able to do.
I was just trying to stress, her situation's not going to get better on her ability to pay fees and things like that.
Okay,
That's why the court modified the offer.
Sir?
That's why the court
That's
made the
what-
modifications it did.
right. That's why we went down there, found that she was indigent.
I
And
just-
pursuant to Article 42.15 of the Texas Code of Criminal Procedure, fine and court costs was converted to 35 hours community service pursuant to Article 26.05 Texas Code of Criminal Procedure. The attorney's fees were waived, and then the court reduced the probation fee to the statutory minimum of $25 a month. Okay,
All
now
right, so-
she said that she can pay the $51 a month. And so regarding the community service, there's nothing here that said that she was, out of everything that you said, you didn't say she was disabled or handicapped to prevent her from doing community service. Being poor does not prevent you from doing community service.
in most cases.
Okay, well, this is the court order. Now, if she doesn't want to accept the plea bargaining agreement, then we just go back to square one and we just set it for trial.
She can accept the plea bargain agreement. I just want to stress that if she's lucky enough to find a job, while she's raising these 3 small children,
But you know, her probation is not gonna be revoked by virtue of her being indigent. That's the law doesn't allow that to happen.
what's that?
The law prevents a person from having their probation revoked by virtue of them being poor and indigent.
I think that's a big factor.
Well, that's the law.
Good.
Okay, all right. So, y'all still wanna go, now, Ms. Castro, do you understand the state's offer? Do you think that the state's offer in your case is fair and just? And do you accept the state's offer? Okay, Ms. Castro, I'll follow the plea bargain agreement with the adjustments and the findings that the court have previously made. Now, Ms. Castro, if you successfully complete this probation, this case will be dismissed. It would not result in a conviction on your record, and you may qualify for a non-disclosure. You can talk to your attorney about the non-disclosure because he's quite competent in those matters. Okay? Now, just have a seat.
I'm ready.
You ready? Okay. Please stand in front of the court coordinator and follow the directions of the bailiff. Once you finish following the directions of the bailiff, you're free to go. And you have a blessed day. Yeah, I need that. And Mr. Lawrence, this is your only case. You're free to go as well. And you have a blessed day.
Thank you.
All right? And thanks for bringing that to the attention of the court. Okay. Rocha Garcia.
They're going to give you a minute to show you how to get over to the probation department. That's what you're doing. You're doing it because
Court is in session in cause number 24CCCR 0588. Case is style the state of Texas versus Geraldo Rocha Garcia. Now, Mr. Garcia was previously sworn in. His attorney was previously sworn in to interpret Spanish. Where's the paper? I got it. Mr. Rocha Garcia, I have before me, in this case, cause number 24CCCR 0588, a document that is titled Information. This information was filed by the Jefferson County District Attorney's Office. In this information, it alleges that you, Geraldo Rocha Garcia, on or about December 9th of 2023, while you were operating a motor vehicle in Jefferson County, Texas, that you committed the Class B misdemeanor offense of reckless driving. Mr. Rocha Garcia, do you understand what you have been charged with?
Yes.
And to discharge Mr. Rocha Garcia, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
Guilty.
Now, are you pleading guilty freely and voluntarily?
Yes.
And are you pleading guilty because you are guilty?
Yes.
Mr. Rocha Garcia, I also have before me on my tablet a document that is titled Misdemeanor Plea Admonishment. This document is also labeled as State's Exhibit Number 1. Mr. Rocha Garcia, do you recognize this document?
Yes.
Now, the punishment range in this Class B misdemeanor is confinement in jail that does not exceed 30 days, a fine that does not exceed $200, or both, or you could be given both such fine and confinement. Do you understand the range of punishment for this offense?
Yes.
And Mr. Rocha Garcia, on page 2 of the same document, I have, well, there are a set of initials, GR or G on the line next to a box that says check guilty. Did you place your initials on this document?
Yes.
On page 3 of this document, there's a signature above the line that's titled defendant. Is this your signature?
Yes.
And There's a document that's titled Trial Court Certification, the Defendant's Right of Appeal. Do you recognize this document? And is this your signature on the line that's titled Defendant?
Yes.
At the top of this document, there are two boxes checked. The first box that's checked states that this is a plea bargain case. You have no right of appeal. Do you understand that statement?
Yes.
The second box that's checked states that you're waiving your right to appeal. Do you understand that statement?
Yes.
Now, on the previous document, as in the previous case, there's paragraph that's titled citizenship. And it states as follows: if you're not a U.S. citizen or plead guilty or no contendere, may result in your deportation, exclusion from admission to the country, or denial of naturalization under federal law. Do you understand that statement?
Yes.
For the initial of this paragraph. And Mr. Rojas, again, in this case, pursuant to the case of Cadill versus Kentucky, you advise your client of the consequences of pleading guilty by
Yes.
virtue of him being, by virtue of not being a citizen of the United States.
I did, Your Honor.
Okay. And also, I think you're gonna have to put both numbers on here.
There's not just for you.
Just write well, you would just write the numbers on the top. Because they're gonna have to they have to place them in the files. And Mr. Okay, Geraldo Rocha Garcia, I have before me a document that's titled Discovery Certification. Recognize this document? And is this your
Yes.
signature on the line that's titled Defendant?
Yes.
And previously, we went over the document that is titled English Statement 1 for all foreign nationals, except those from mandatory notification countries. And to the questions, do you want us to notify your consular officers at this time? You circle no. Is that correct?
Yes.
And your signature is on this document.
Yes.
And before you sign it, all of these documents that I just showed you, did your attorney go over these documents with you in Spanish?
Yes.
And did you read and understand everything? Well, did you understand everything that he went over?
Yes.
And is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge?
Yes.
State,
Yeah, for 6-1.
No objection.
no objection, states exhibit number 1 will be admitted. Mr. Rojas, again, you advising counsel, Mr. Rocher Garcia, in this case, is there any evidence that he is currently in an incompetent trial?
No, Your Honor.
And Mr. Rocher Garcia, are you satisfied with your attorney representation in this case?
Yes.
Has he provided full, effective, and competent legal representation?
Yes.
Mr. Rocher Garcia, I will accept your plea of guilty. I will find that you are mentally competent to stand trial. I will also find that your plea and waivers were freely and voluntarily given. And I will also find that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. State, do we have a plea bargaining agreement?
We do, Your Honor.
And what is the agreement?
This is to run concurrent with his other reckless case. This is a 6 months deferred offer with 200 fine, community service of 30 hours, and the CW is being dismissed for fault.
So is the court cost the same? 330?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I can see it on the phone.
Okay, now, Mr. Rocha Garcia, the state is offering that you serve 6 months deferred adjudicated probation. During this probationary period, you'll be required to pay $200 plus court costs of $330. The probation fee is $6 a month, your analysis fee of $15 a month, reimbursement fee of $15. That comes to a total of $253 a month. However, because you will already be placed on probation, running concurrent with this case, instead of your probation fee being $253 a month, your probation fee will be $106 a month. Will you be able to pay the $106 each month?
Yes.
This case will run concurrent with cause number 23CCCR 2263, and the state will be dismissing cause number 23CCCR 2208 for forfeiture of the weapon in that case.
That's correct, Your Honor.
And Mr. Rocha Garcia, do you understand the state's offer?
Yes.
And do you think that the state's offer in this case is fair and just?
Yes.
And do you accept the state's offer?
Yes.
Mr. Rocha Garcia, I'll follow the people in agreements that you have entered into with the state. Now, Mr. Rocha Garcia, if you successfully complete the probationary periods in these cases, the cases will be dismissed and you may qualify for a non-disclosure. You can talk to your attorney about the non-disclosure because he's quite competent in those matters. Please stand in front of the, please stand next to the bailiff in front of the court coordinator and follow their directions. Did you submit his dismissal? Rocha Garcia?
Checking to see if it's been added to the dismissal fee, Your Honor.
Oh,
Okay, everything has been.
I fixed it.
Israel Ruiz? Ruiz? Okay, this is cause number 24CCCR 1010. The case is styled the state of Texas versus Israel Ruiz. Mr. Ruiz, is that your full name?
Yes.
Mr. Ruiz, would you please raise your right hand? Mr. Ruiz, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you God?
Yes.
Mr. Ruiz, you may put your hand down. How are you doing, Mr. Ruiz?
Doing good.
That's good. Now, Mr. Ruiz, you're represented in your case by your attorney, Attorney Takash. Attorney Takash is not present, however, standing in for Attorney Takash is Attorney Don Boudreaux. Does Mr. Boudreaux have your permission to stand in for Attorney Takash?
Yes.
Okay. And Mr. Boudreaux, how are you doing?
Yes, fine, sir.
And Mr. Boudreaux, do you waive a record in Mr. Ruiz's case?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Ruiz, I have before me a document that is titled complaint. This complaint was filed actually by the city of Beaumont. Now, your case is a Class C appeal from the city of Beaumont. In this complaint, it alleges that you, Israel Ruiz, on or about the first day of February 2024, while you were operating a motor vehicle in the city of Beaumont of Jefferson County, Texas, that you committed the Class C misdemeanor offense of driving straight from a turn lane only. Mr. Ruiz, do you understand what you have been charged with?
Yes.
And to this charge, Mr. Ruiz, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
Not-
Now, you pleading no contest freely and voluntarily?
Yes.
And are you pleading no contest because you do not wish to fight or contest the charges?
Yes.
Mr. Ruiz, I also have before me a document that is titled misdemeanor plea admonishments. This document is also labeled as State's Exhibit number 1. Mr. Ruiz, do you recognize this document?
Yes.
On page 2 of this same document, there are a set of initials, IR, on a line next to a box that's checked nolo contendere, which means no contest. Did you place your initials on this document?
Yes.
On page 3 of this same document, there's a signature above the line that is titled defendant. Is this your signature?
Yes.
And on the next document that's titled trial court certification of defendant's right of appeal, do you recognize this document?
Yes.
And is this your signature on the line that's titled defendant?
Yes.
At the top of this document, there are 2 boxes checked. The first box that's checked states that this is a plea bargain case and you have no right of appeal. Do you understand that statement?
Yes.
The second box that's checked states that you're waiving your right to an appeal, which means you're giving up your right to an appeal. Do you understand that statement?
Yes.
I also have before me a document that is titled Discovery Certification. Do you recognize this document?
Yes.
And is this your signature on the line that's titled defendant?
Yes.
Mr. Reeves, before you signed and initialed these documents, did your attorney go over these documents with you?
Yes.
And did you read and understand everything that your attorney went over?
Yes.
And is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge?
Yes.
Mr. Reeves, are you a citizen of the United States?
No.
Okay. Mr. What country are you from?
Mexico.
Mexico, okay.
Yes.
Now, Mr. Boudreaux, I'm gonna give you a few minutes to, y'all can sit at the table and go over this top part of this document with him. And he can, to the question of, do you want us to notify your consular officers at this time? He could either circle one of the 2, and then you could witness it for him, and he could sign with it. Y'all can have a seat at that table at consul's table. Okay. Edward Wallace. Okay, Mr. Wallace, would you please raise your right hand? Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Mr. Wallace, you may put your hand down. Now, Mr. Wallace, I have 2 documents. The first document is titled Judge's Explanation of Rights to Defendants Without Attorney. You recognize this document? And is this your signature on the line that's titled Defendant? And are these your initials on a line that state you'd like to apply for a court-appointed attorney? I also have another document that is titled Jefferson County Affidavit of Indigence. Do you recognize this document? And on page 2 of this document, is this your signature on the line that's titled Defendant's Signature? Mr. Wallace, before you signed and initial these documents that I just showed you, did your attorney, did you read the document? And did you understand what you read? And is everything in this document, or in these documents rather, are true and correct to the best of your knowledge? Okay, now, Mr. Wallace, I read your answers. Based on your answers, you meet the eligibility requirements for the appointment of a court-appointed attorney. And the attorney that would be appointed to represent you is Attorney David Grove. Attorney Grove will be given information to contact you, and you will be given information to contact him. Our court coordinator will give you that information. Once she gives you that information, you'll be free to go. Or you have a blessed day. Just go back and have a seat where you're sitting and wait for her to call your name. Huh? Date, what's the date?
No, what we added, it's added.
Okay. HRB. Edward Wallace. Oh, let's see. Okay, we'll call you back up. Okay. Israel Ruiz, please come up, come back up. Now, Mr. Ruiz, I have before me a document that is titled English Statement 1 for all foreign nationals except those from mandatory notification countries. Do you recognize this document?
Yes,
And is this your signature on the line that's titled defendant?
yes,
And to the question of, do you want us to notify your consular officers at this time? You circle no, is that correct?
yes.
Now, Mr. Ruiz, I'm going to go back to State's Exhibit number 1, the misdemeanor plea admonishment. There's a paragraph down here that's titled citizenship. And I'm going to read this paragraph to you. And it states as follows: if you are not a U.S. citizen, a plea of guilty or nolo contendere may result in your deportation, exclusion from admission to the country, or denial of naturalization under federal law. Do you understand that paragraph?
Yes,
Now, we need to have him the initial that near that paragraph at the bottom. Last paragraph. You're going to initial the last paragraph that's titled citizenship, and your initials signify that you understand what I just read to you. Should be the last paragraph at the bottom.
Yes, sir. You,
You can initial on the side
okay,
or at the bottom, either one.
put your initial right side.
Thank you. Now, Mr. Boudreaux, pursuant to the case of Padilla versus Kentucky, which require that attorney advise their clients who is not a U.S. citizen of the consequences of pleading guilty of no contest by virtue of them not being a citizen of the United States. Did you advise your client of the consequences of pleading guilty of no contest to the charge?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, You offer state's exhibit one?
State offer states one now.
State is offering state's exhibit one. Do you have any objections?
No objection.
No objection, state's exhibit number one will be admitted. Mr. Boudreaux, you've advised and counseled Mr. Reeves. Is there any evidence that he is currently mentally incompetent to stand trial?
No, sir.
Mr. Reeves, your attorney, Mr. Boudreaux, has advised and counseled you. Are you satisfied with his representation?
Well, yeah,
Has he provided full, effective, and competent legal representation?
yes,
Okay, now, Mr. Takash has also advised and counseled you. Are you satisfied with his representation?
yes,
Has he provided full, effective, and competent legal representation?
Can we step back a minute, Judge?
Yeah, that's fine. What is Wallace? I see Mr. Wallace. Where's his judge's explanation of rights? I don't think I have, oh, it might be attached to this. Yeah, it is. Paper was just out of order. No, this what, huh? Do what? I'm gonna put this up here. Matter of fact.
Yeah.
Mr.
Ready to go.
Yeah, good, I'll get it going.
What I wanted to tell you is that Mr. Grove is right there. Mr. Grove, I just appointed you to a case, Mr. Edward Wallace, and this is Mr. Wallace right here. He has a motion to revoke probation.
Okay,
Okay, I just wanted y'all to meet each other, so.
I've got a plea to do right here, but we'll talk outside the court, okay? Don't leave.
And we're gonna give you your paperwork, okay? We're gonna give you your paperwork before you leave. You can have a seat.
Be sure to wait for the paperwork. I'm sorry, but don't leave before you talk to me. Mr. Hubert.
I went to try to, he's working on the paperwork now, he'll send it over. Okay, is this the server in the back? That's where.
Yes.
Mr. Delgado, are you a citizen of the United States?
Yes. Zero for stage one.
Any
No
objections?
objections to stage one.
No objections. State's exhibit number 1 will be admitted. Mr. Paget, you have advised and counseled Mr. Delgado. Is there any evidence that he is currently mentally incompetent to stand trial?
None, Your Honor.
And Mr. Delgado, your attorney, Mr. Paget, has advised and counseled you. Are you satisfied with his representation?
Yes.
Has he provided full, effective, and competent legal representation?
Yes.
Mr. Delgado, I will accept your plea of no contest. I will find that you are mentally competent to stand trial. I will also find that your plea and waivers were freely and voluntarily given. And I will also find that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. State, do we have a plea bargain agreement?
We do, Your Honor.
And what is the agreement?
The agreement is to 90 days probated over 1 year with a $500 fine and 50 hours community service. The companion case 23 CCCR 1704 will be dismissed per the complaint witness request. Yeah.
We will note the court cost is in Mr. Delgado's case. Page 3. At the top.
77. This one. I'm gonna give you a copy now, you're gonna speak and be fine, sorry, you okay? Make sure your information. That's okay, you can. Make sure this is all, this information is correct. I mean, right here. Okay. You gonna get it back on later?
Okay, Mr. Delgado, the state is offering that you serve 90 days in Jefferson County Jail. However, you will not have to serve any time in the Jefferson County Jail because you'll be placed on probation for 1 year. During the 1 year probationary period, you'll be required to pay a fine of $500 plus court costs of $277. You will also $277. You also be required to pay a probation fee of $60 a month, your analysis fee of $15 a month, reimbursement fee of $15. Now, your total monthly installments, that is a total amount that you will be required to pay each month, is $154 a month. Will you be able to pay the $154 each month?
Yes, sir.
You'll also be required to perform 50 hours of community service and adhere to the other standard terms and conditions of this probation. The state will be dismissing cause number 23 CCCR 1704. Mr. Delgado, do you understand the state's offer?
Yes, sir.
Do you think that the state's offer in your case is fair and just?
Yes.
And do you accept the state's offer?
Yes.
Mr. Delgado, I'll follow the plea bargain agreement that you have entered into with the state. Mrs. Delgado, you're gonna stand in front of our court coordinator, follow the directions of the bailiff. And, okay, once you finish following the directions of the bailiff, you'll be free to go, and you have a blessed day.
Thank you.
And I'm signing your motion to dismiss right now.
Right here.
Okay, I heard you for the company. Terrence, sorry.
It was Tyrone Marcel DeRuin.
I don't think he's here. I think.
That's a dismissal.
It's a dismissal, not stop.
What was the add-on?
Yes.
September fourth? Okay. September fourth. Okay, he's on his- I'm getting more what else. He did the second one.
Which one?
Yes, and I gave him.
You got a dismissal?
Oh, what else was this?
Yes.
I think
And I
I,
gave him.
Okay, let me give it this.
yeah, I already signed it.
You sure? Why are so many people at that white house?
Okay, this is cause number 24 CCCR 0276, case of style of state of Texas versus Abraham Cardenas. Mr. Cardenas, is that your full name?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Cardenas, how are you doing?
Good, good. What about you?
I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking. Mr. Cardenas, you appeared in court on April 30th of 2024. At that time, you said you wanted your case reset to hire your attorney. Have you hired an attorney?
I haven't found one yet.
Okay, you said you haven't found one.
No, I haven't looked for one.
You haven't looked for one.
I've been working.
Okay. We're gonna give you one last reset. We're gonna reset you 30 days. Now you still wanna hire your own attorney?
Yes, sir, I can for you.
Okay. Just have a seat and we're gonna get you your reset date. All right?
Thank you.
Huh?
May I have a copy of the non-citizenship form that we have from signed here for you? If you're from another country.
Actually, I think this is my, actually.
I'll bring
Okay.
it right back. I just need.
No. I was seeing if there was no last one.
Thank you, Judge.
Okay. Next case is Erasmo Davila Jr. Mr. Davila, your full name is Erasco Davila Jr.?
Yes.
Now, this case was transferred over. Let me do this here. The original bond conditions. I see that you have a smart start interlock.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, what we're gonna do, we're gonna give you some bond conditions. You already have it. It's gonna state that you're required to get it, but you just have to maintain it. Okay? Now, these bond conditions that we're gonna give you states as follows: standard bond conditions in County Court at Law number 2. Following the return of a criminal information in County Court at Law number 2 of Jefferson County, Texas, all bail bonds executed for release of any defendant named herein are ordered subject to the additional conditions. Number 1, the defendant shall commit no offense against the laws of this state, any other state of the United States. Do you understand that condition? Condition number 2, the defendant shall submit to testing for drugs and alcohol at any time as directed by the court may revoke the bond and order the arrest of any defendant who A, refuses to submit to a test for drugs and alcohol when directed to do so by the court, or B, submit to a test for drugs and alcohol and the test indicates the presence of drugs, alcohol in the defendant's body. Do you understand that condition? And condition number 3 doesn't apply, and condition number 4 does apply, and it states as follows: a defendant whose information charges any subsequent offense listed under section 49.04 through 49.06 of the Texas Penal Code, and that's where your offense is listed, shall not operate any motor vehicle unless the vehicle is equipped with an interlock device mechanism that makes impractical the operation of the vehicle if ethyl alcohol is detected in the breath of the operator, and said device shall be installed at the defendant's expense with written verification of such installation being submitted to the court on or before 3 days after the day. You already have it, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Now, do you understand that condition? In condition number 5, defendant shall maintain, obtain, and pay for, and have no violations with the ignition interlock device, mobile breath device. Any violations will be grounds for revocation. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
And condition number 6, defendant must attend AA/NA meetings 3 times a week and provide proof to the court. Do you understand that? Okay. Now, if you violate any one of these conditions, your bond can be revoked. And if your bond is revoked, a warrant will be issued for your arrest. You'll be arrested and placed in the Jefferson County Jail. Do you understand? Ms. Bailiff. I need you to hand this to him. And I need for you to make a copy of this while I go with this document. Now, Ms. Devila, the documents that's was just handed out, the first document is a signing sheet, and every time that you go to, the AANA meetings, a sponsor will sign this sheet to verify that you did attend. And the second document, I think it's about 3 or 4 pages. It has a list of different places you can go to for AANA meetings. You can select anyone that you would like to go to, or anyone that's convenient for you. And you need to bring that paperwork back, the paper with the signing sheet, you need to bring that back to court every time that you come to court, so that we can verify that you are attending AANA meetings.
Okay.
Okay, now, Mr. Davila, you're gonna have a seat in that chair on the wall. The court coordinator is going to reset your case, give you a copy to reset, and also you will be given a copy of the bond conditions that I've just read to you.
Okay.
All right, just have a seat on the first chair on the wall.
Thank you.
Everything's.
Oh. Let me have, Mr. Davila, I forgot to do one thing. Mr. Davila, have you hired an attorney to represent you?
No, the court, it was issue one for me.
Okay, hold on a minute. Let's see, he rescinded that order. Affidavit of indigence. Oops, let me do this here. I'm going to have the bailiff to hand you a document. You can get it from her. I'm gonna print it. Okay, you using it?
I think that's my judgment.
Okay. Yeah, I just printed it. Now, Mr. Davila, the bailiff is gonna hand you a document that is titled Jefferson County Affidavit of Indigence. Sign it. Do you recognize that document?
Yeah.
On page 2 of that document, I see what Judge Wood signed the document. No, I see where he signed the document. And is everything in that document still true and correct today? The first page, the financials.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so the court, so you're still indigent, so the court is going to appoint you an attorney. And the attorney that you will be appointed as Attorney Benjamin Jeffries. Attorney Jeffries will be given information to contact you, and you will also be given information to contact him. Our court coordinator is going to give you that information. Once she gives you that information, you're free to go, and you have a blessed day. Please have a seat on that first chair on the wall.
Thank you.
Did you give him a copy of his
I did, yes,
bond
sir.
conditions? Okay. Let's see, could you?
Then I'll just, call them, then and so they gotta
I'm gonna need you to send me back Mr. Ruiz case. Court is back in session and calls number 24-CCCR 1010. Case of style of state of Texas versus Israel Ruiz. Mr. Ruiz, would you please come forward with your attorney? Now, Mr. Did you send this back to me?
Oh,
It got
I
sent
did
back
it
to
the
us.
other way.
Yeah, it comes back to us.
I'm sorry, I did the back.
I'll redo it, Judge. I probably should make sure it's all there.
You gonna send it to her, then she has to send it back to me.
Nothing's changed on it. Okay. It's been sent to clerk.
Okay, Mr. Ruiz. We're back in session at calls number 24-CCCR 1010. Case of style of state of Texas versus Israel Ruiz. And Mr. Ruiz, previously the court swore you in, is that correct?
Yes.
And the court read the information in this case, charging you, no, the court read the complaint. Because the court informed me that this was a Class C misdemeanor that was appealed from the Beaumont Municipal Court. And the court read the complaint in this case. And you entered a plea of no contest to the complaint, is that correct?
Yes.
The court also showed you state's exhibit number 1, which is the misdemeanor plea admonishment. You acknowledge that you recognize this document.
Yes.
You also acknowledge that you initialed the line on page 2 that is titled nola contendere, which means no contest.
Yes.
You also acknowledge that this is your signature on page 3 of state's exhibit number 1.
Yes.
You also was shown trial court certification of defendant's right of appeal, and you acknowledge that you recognize this document, is that correct?
Yes.
You also acknowledge that this was your signature above the line that is titled defendant, and you also acknowledge that you understood the boxes, the 2 boxes that are checked at the top of this document, is that correct?
Yes.
The court also, is this it?
I don't believe so, Judge. We did admit
Do you
exhibit 1 though.
take some forms? I need those, I need Mr. Ruiz
Oh,
discovery certification. I showed you a document, Mr. Ruiz, that showed you a document that is titled discovery certification, and you acknowledge that you recognize these documents as well, and this is your signature above the line that is titled defendant, is that correct? Show this document to him. That's Ruiz. Is that your signature above the line that's titled defendant? Is that, that's the right document?
Not
Oh.
right.
Let me see, it must not be the right document. Let me see. Jose True. No, this is Rivera.
We signed one, Judge.
I know, let me find it. That's Delgado. Garcia. Castro. Garcia. Let's see. Jose Torres. Hold on.
Is it stuck underneath? We did turn it into good punch.
Hold on a minute. Document that states English statement for all foreign nationals except those met from mandatory notification countries. And you acknowledge that this was your signature and you circled no to the question. Do you want us to notify your consular officer at this time? Is that correct?
Yes.
You also acknowledge that you recognize this document as titled Discovery Certification and that this is your signature on the line that's titled Defendant.
Yes.
And two states exhibit number one, you place your initials below the paragraph that is titled citizenship. Is that correct?
Yes.
And you acknowledge that you understood what was read to you from that paragraph.
Yes.
And Mr. Boudreaux acknowledged that pursuant to the case of Padilla versus Kentucky, that you advise your clients as to the consequences of him pleading guilty of no contest to these charges by him not being a citizen of the United States. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Let's see. State offer states exhibit number one. You did not have any objections. You stated that there is no evidence to find that Mr. Ruiz is incompetent to stand trial. And then I asked Mr. Ruiz whether or not he was satisfied with your services. Did you provide effective and competent representation? He said yes to you. And then when I asked him about Mr. Takash, asked him whether I could ask the question again. You've been advised and counseled by Mr. Takash. Are you satisfied with his services?
Yes.
Has he provided fully effective and competent legal representation?
Yes.
Okay. Now, Mr. Ruiz, I will accept your plea of no contest. I will find that you are mentally competent to stand trial. I'll also find that your plea and waivers were freely and voluntarily given. And I will also find that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. State, do we have a plea bargain agreement in this case?
Yes, Your Honor.
And what is the agreement?
In exchange for defendant's plea, the state's offering $50 fine plus court cost.
$50 fine plus court cost. What
Yes,
is
Your
this
Honor.
court cost?
277.
277. Okay, now, Mr. Ruiz, the state is offering that you pay a fine of $50 plus court costs of $277, which comes to a total of $327. Are you able to pay the $327 court cost today?
Yes.
Now, Mr. Ruiz, do you understand the state's offer?
Yes.
Or do you think the state's offer in your case is fair and just?
Yes.
Do you accept the state's offer?
Yes.
Mr. Ruiz, I'll follow the plea bargain agreement that you have entered into with the state. Mr. Ruiz, please stand, you ready for it? Please stand in front of the court coordinator, follow the directions of the bailiffs. Once you finish following the directions, bailiff, you'll be able to go and pay the fine and court costs downstairs in the county clerk's
I'll
office.
bring him up.
And once you pay it, he'll bring the receipt back up to this court. And you'll be free to go and you have a blessed day. Okay. This is cause number 24 CCCR 0280. Case is filed the state of Texas versus Jamarian B. Robinson. Mr. Robinson, is that your full name? Jim what?
R. Robinson. Big. Middle name.
Okay, yeah, okay. Now, Jamarian, okay, R. Robinson. Now, Mr. Robinson, how are you doing? Now, Mr. Robinson, would you please raise your right hand? You swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Robinson, you may put your hand down. Mr. Robinson, you're represented in your case by your attorney David Grove. Attorney Grove, how are you doing?
Good, Judge, thank you.
That's good. Mr. Grove, do you waive a record in Mr. Robinson's case?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Robinson, I have before me a document that is titled Information Sheet. This information sheet alleges that you, Jamarian B. Robinson, on or about December 17th of 2023, while you were in Jefferson County, Texas, that you committed the Class B misdemeanor offense of failure to identify, giving false fictitious information. You understand what you've been charged with? And to this charge, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest? Are you pleading no contest freely and voluntarily?
Yes, sir.
And are you pleading no contest because you do not wish to fight or contest the charges? Mr. Robinson, I also have before me a document on this tablet that is titled Misdemeanor Plea Admonishments, also labeled Stacy number 1. You recognize this document? And on page 2 of this same document, there are a set of initials JR. On the line next to a box says check nolo contendere, which means no contest. Did you place your initials on this document? On page 3 of this same document, there is a signature above the line that is titled defendant. Is this your signature? And on the next document that's titled trial court certification of defendant's right of appeal. Do you recognize this document? And is this your signature on the line that's titled defendant? At the top of this document, there are 2 boxes checked. The first box that's checked states that this is a plea bargain case and you have no right of appeal. Do you understand that statement? Second box that's checked states that you're waiving your right to an appeal, which means you're giving up your right to an appeal. Do you understand that statement? Mr. Robinson, I also have before me a document that is titled Discovery Certification. You recognize this document? And is this your signature on the line that's titled defendant?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Robinson, before you signed and initialed these documents, did your attorney, Mr. Grove, go over these documents with you?
Yes, sir.
And did you read and understand everything in these documents? And is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge?
Sir.
Mr. Robinson, are you a citizen of the United States?
Yes, sir.
Silver States 1.
Any objections, Mr.
No
Grove?
objection, Your Honor.
No objections. State's exhibit number 1 will be admitted. Mr. Grove, you've advised and counseled Mr. Robinson. Is there any evidence that he is currently mentally incompetent to stand trial?
None that I'm aware of.
And Mr. Robinson, your attorney, Mr. Grove, has advised and counseled you. Are you satisfied with his representation?
Yes, sir.
Has he provided full, effective, and competent legal representation?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Robinson, I will accept your plea of no contest. I will find that you are mentally competent to stand trial. I will also find that your plea and waivers were freely and voluntarily given. And I will also find that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. State, do we have a plea bargain agreement?
We do, Your Honor.
And what is the agreement?
The agreement is a 6 months deferred probation with a $250 fine and 24 hours community service.
Okay, Mr. Grove, are you code appointed?
Yes, sir.
What cost is that?
You can get at there. Okay. Have a blessed day, Mr. Boudreaux, and you have a blessed day as well, Mr. Ruiz.
Gotta save your eyes.
Okay, now, Mr. Robinson, the state is offering that you serve 6 months deferred adjudicated probation. During the 6 months probationary period, you'll be required to pay a fine of $250. Plus court costs of $277. You'll also be required to pay a probation fee of $60 a month, your analysis fee of $15 a month, reimbursement fee of $15. You'll also be required to reimburse Jefferson County Dakota appointed attorney's fees of $250. Your total monthly installments, that is the total amount that you will be required to pay each month, is $338 a month. Are you able to pay the $338 a month? You are able? Okay. Now, Mr. Robinson, you'll also be required to perform 24 hours of community service and adhere to the other standard terms and conditions of your probation. Mr. Robinson, do you understand the state's offer?
Yes, sir.
Do you think that the state's offer in your case is fair and just? And do you accept the state's offer?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Mr. Robinson, I'll follow the people in agreement that you have entered into with the state. Now, Mr. Robinson, if you successfully complete this probationary period, this case will be dismissed. It will not result in a conviction on your record, and you may qualify for a non-disclosure. You can talk to your attorney about the non-disclosure because he's quite competent in those matters. Now, Mr. Robinson, you're gonna stand in front of our court coordinator next to the bailiff. Follow her direction. Once you finish following her direction, you'll be free to go, and you have a blessed day. And Mr. Grove, you'll be free to go as well, and you have a blessed day.
Thank you, Your Honor, you too.
Jairus Jackson? Who is that? Mr. Jackson, you represented by Ralph Kimler?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Mr. Kimler was supposed to be getting on, is he gonna get on Zoom? He gonna call by phone? Just have a seat, we're gonna wait for your attorney to call in. I was right. And what did you tell me? Okay, that wasn't the truth, was it? Okay, you knew that when you asked the question. I mean, how do you figure you was gonna pay it? You thought we figured, so you can't pay it. Okay, why did you say you could pay it when you know you couldn't pay it? Okay, but I mean, well, my question was, why did you tell me you couldn't pay it, that you could pay it?
I thought I was gonna have a job by the time came.
Okay. You thought you was gonna have a job but you don't have a job. You're looking for a job.
Yes.
How long have you been looking for a job? 2 weeks, okay. Okay, so what we're gonna do, what the court has to find out is, are you able to pay now? Not, will you be able to pay in the future? Because we don't know what the future holds. Do we? No, we don't know what the future holds. We have to, the question that I'm asking is based on precedent. Okay. Give me a copy. So you're saying you can't pay it. Give me a copy of his affidavit of indigence. Let me see if I can pull it up. This is Mr. Robinson.
Yes, sir.
Hold on a minute. Apparently, you didn't tell your lawyer that either. Because if you'd have told him that, I'm sure he would have told me that you couldn't. Let me look up, you say affidavit, okay, here we go. Okay, let me print this off for you. You know, some people, when I ask that question, they think that if they say no, that the court will not go along with the plea bargain agreement. That's what some people think, but that, it doesn't have anything to do with the plea bargain agreement. Only thing it has to do is your ability to pay, whether you can or cannot pay. And then so based on how you answer it, then that will determine what direction the court is going to go into, okay? Now, you just been handed a document that is titled Jefferson County Affidavit of Indigence. Do you recognize that document?
Yes, sir.
On page 2 of that document, there's a signature, in the top left-hand box, above the line that is titled Defendant Signature. Is that your signature?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, going back to page 1, is everything on that document still true and correct today? I'm looking at the bottom of that document. When it asks for monthly income and assets, you see that? Is it, everything still true and correct? Is it still true and correct? And when it asks for monthly expenses, is that still true and correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, so the court. Let's see. The court is going to find that you're indigent. I have to read this. We didn't need to call him back. He can call somebody on the cell phone, huh? You can give us, I think he has that guy's cell phone number. No. He can use the cell phone, right? If the wife already has his number. 250-527. This is 20. Report from.
Lunchtime, see what we do, we transfer our phones to Junior.
So is there your right number for it?
You can't call them, that number is not a number where you can call them in the court.
So,
300.
I can't guarantee that much, sorry.
Oh,
You know.
Yeah.
He's talking about that.
I mean, you can call myself, but I can't guarantee that my, service will hold.
Right.
Right.
99, is that right? That can't be right. Yeah, that could be right. Okay, now, Mr. Robinson. the court cost of $250 will be, well, what a court has previously found that you are indigent. So pursuant to Article 26.05 G-11 in the Texas Code of Criminal Procedure, the attorney's fees of $250 will be waived. And pursuant to Article 42.15 Texas Code of Criminal Procedure, the fine of $250 plus court costs of $277, which comes to a total of $527, will be converted to 42 hours of community service. The probation fee of $60 a month will be reduced to the statutory minimum of $25 a month. And you'll be required to pay your analysis fee of $15 a month and the reimbursement fee of $15. Your total monthly installments come to a total of $99 a month. Or you're able to pay the $99 a month. You will? Okay. Now, the 24 hours of community service will be added to the 42 hours of community service, which brings a total of 66 hours of community service that you would have to perform. Do you understand that?
Sir.
Now, you also be required to adhere to the other standard terms and conditions of this probation. And do you understand the state's offer and the court's adjustments? And do you think that it's fair and just? And do you accept it? Okay, I'll follow the plea bargain agreement that you have entered into with the state. And as I mentioned earlier, this case, if you successfully complete the probationary period, this case will be dismissed, will not result in a conviction on your record. And you may qualify for non-disclosure, and your attorney can talk to you about the non-disclosure. You understand that? All right, just have a seat. She has to redo the paperwork. And once our court coordinator redo the paperwork, she's gonna call you back up. All right. Ramona Rocha. This is cause number M328090, case of style of state of Texas versus, Ramon Rocha Jr. Ramon Rocha was scheduled to be in court this morning at 9 a.m. At about 9 a.m. The state called the name of Ramon Rocha. Ramon Rocha did not answer. Ramon Rocha has not appeared in court since the court has been in session. The time now is 12:30 p.m. on today's date. Ms. Bailiff, would you please call the name of Ramon Rocha at the courthouse door?
No response, Your Honor.
Okay, Ramon Rocha's name was just called at the courthouse door. Ramon Rocha did not answer. A reasonable time has passed to give Mr. Rocha an opportunity to appear in court. He is not appearing in court. State, do you have a motion?
State moves for bond.
That motion will be granted. Ramon Rocha's bond will be forfeited and a warrant shall be issued for his arrest. What's, Mr. We can call him. Okay, the court is in session and calls number 23 CCCR 0447. Case is filed in the state of Texas versus Jarius Jackson. Mr. Jackson, is that your full name?
Sir,
How you doing, Mr. Jackson?
I'm fine with you.
I'm doing fine, thanks for asking. Mr. Jackson, you're representing your case by your attorney, Attorney Wright Kimler. Attorney Kimler is appearing via telephone. Attorney Kimler, how are you doing?
Well, thank you.
Okay, now, Mr. Kimler, what is your announcement in Mr. Jackson's case?
I had trial, Your Honor.
Okay, reset it for trial? Okay. Mr. Jackson, your case is gonna be reset for trial. You're gonna get your reset from our court coordinator. Once you get your reset from the court coordinator, you'll be free to go stay in contact with your attorney and your bondsman, okay?
Great, thank
You can
you,
have
Your
a seat. You can hand him his phone back. All right, just have a seat and wait for her to reset your case. Okay, this will conclude the calling of the court's announcement docket and the motion to revoke probation docket. Both cases on today's date of July 24th, 2024 in County Court at Law number 2, Jefferson County, Texas. Judge Terrence Holmes presiding. Everyone, please have a blessed day.